Hello friends, I am Ramanujam Narayan from Contractor Universal LLP. I am heading the Finance First Division and I have been promising to all of you that I am going to come up with a lot of knowledge series on IFRS and financial reporting and many other finance related aspects. So after looking at these videos, after looking at this series of videos, you should be able to develop a key skill in financial acumen in some or the other area. That's going to be the objective. It is going to be a completely value add for all of you. Every week, trust me, every week on every Friday, we'll release a particular video, right? Which will be a typical capsule or a finance bite is how I'll put it, where I'll cover some of the other content and it will be of great value to you in your daily life. Yeah. So I'm going to start it right away and you're going to get it on this Friday. So I'll start with the hot topic which has come as a part of the budget, right? That depreciation on goodwill. Let us understand how is it relevant, right? Now we have been contemplating with the fact that there is AS 14, there is AS 21 in Indian GAAP. AS 14 is relating to amalgamation, AS 21 is relating to consolidation. But have we ever pondered upon the thought that AS 14 goodwill, what gets generated on mergers or demergers, gets amortized, and AS 21 goodwill, which arises on consolidation, gets tested for impairment? Isn't it a stepmotherly treatment under both the methods? Food for thought for all of you. What is the reason for this particular treatment? If you carefully go ahead and think, it is one simple reason. As far as India is concerned, under section 32 of Income Tax Act, which all of us have learned long ago in our CA syllabus, you can basically claim a deduction on intangibles. And that is why this world famous cases on Toro Engineering and Smith Securities is there in the market, where they had claimed a depreciation on goodwill as a part of their tax, and still it is a litigative provision, which got clarified as a part of this budget. What does it mean? Now companies used to structure the transaction in such a way that they used to do mergers, they used to do demergers, and whatever goodwill used to come on consolidation, whatever goodwill used to come in the amalgamated books, they used to claim a deduction in tax, right? Now, after this budget pronouncement, after so many years of litigation, finally, from an accounting standpoint, as far as Ind AS 103 is concerned, which is related to business combination, any goodwill, guys, any goodwill what comes in the books will be tested for only impairment. Yeah, only in case of common control transactions, the book value accounting is permissible. What does it mean? At any point of time, between two unrelated parties, fair value accounting is mandatory. There are many relevant case studies which is very much interesting, which I will be covering in the subsequent series. But after this budget pronouncement, what does it mean for companies? For companies, when they do mergers and demergers, the goodwill what they used to recognize on amalgamation and they used to claim a deduction in tax, that is going to suddenly stop. By virtue of this particular provision, what has come as a part of budget, the deferred taxes which we would have recognized in the past, because in tax books it was probably allowed in 5 years and in the books you were depreciating over 10 years, for example. Then there was a temporary difference which was getting created in the form of a deferred tax liability. That deferred tax liability will get reversed, and this particular goodwill deduction, there cannot be any deduction. By virtue of this particular goodwill is going to be a permanent difference, and whatever amortization we do in the books, independent of that in tax, it is not going to be allowed. So as per Ind AS, whatever goodwill comes, you are going to test it for impairment. In tax, it is not going to be allowed, right? So goodwill becomes a permanent item. No tax deduction is going to be claimed on goodwill. Whatever deferred taxes have been provided till date, all the deferred tax liability have to be reversed in the books of accounts. This is the kind of implication what we are seeing as a part of this budget pronouncement. One has to look at the tax aspect, one has to look at the accounting aspect as per Ind AS, one also has to look at the ICDS impact as far as this particular provision in the budget is concerned. Thanks a lot guys, I'll be continuing to do this every week. Thanks a lot everyone, I'm looking forward to see all of you in the subsequent sessions. If you want to have more information and you want to look at more videos, then you can subscribe to my channel. Thank you.